USA Gymnastics is now filing for bankruptcy tonight after facing 100 lawsuits from the Larry Nassar sex abuse scandal.
It's been complete chaos, and this organization is just, its wheels are stuck in the mud.
What you see may change your perception of any sporting event. Get this, shoot this.
Welcome to Outside the Line. Turning now to USA Gymnastics. They are once again in the headlines, electing to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on Wednesday. Now, according to their board of directors chairman, the move is a reorganization to help resolve civil lawsuits related to the sexual abuse perpetrated by former National Medical Coordinator Larry Nassar under the guise of medical treatment. We owe it to the survivors to resolve fully and finally claims based on the horrific acts of the past. But defense attorneys involved in the case say the bankruptcy move will halt scores of legal cases filed against the organization while the bankruptcy proceedings play out. For a deeper look at this story, we welcome in John Manley, lead attorney for the Nassar survivors, and former USA gymnast Jeanette Antolin. Jeanette, let me ask you first off, what was your reaction when you heard this news of USAG declaring bankruptcy?
Well, they tried to spin it as they were doing it for us, their survivors, but the reality is they're just trying to continue to cover up and hide whatever evidence that they have against themselves. So it's frustrating because they try to spin it like it's for us, but everything they've done is for themselves.
John, I have to ask you, you've said that this was a delay tactic. How will this bankruptcy filing affect your clients?
Well, it stops our investigation in its tracks. The timing of this filing is no accident. We were on the precipice of really getting important depositions, important documents that no one's obtained. You know, the Michigan State Attorney General has done a thorough investigation. Michigan State's had to produce lots of documents under the Michigan State Freedom of Information Act. But we don't have the truth with USA Gymnastics. And the USOC and USA Gymnastics has hidden it as a matter of policy and practice. They've just stonewalled these women. They're not trying to help them. They're trying to hide it from them and hurt them.
So what's the next step for you to try to get this information?
Well, I've been through probably 20 Catholic diocese bankruptcies and religious order bankruptcies. So I unfortunately know the bankruptcy courts very well. We've got a great team of bankruptcy lawyers that are now going to represent us, and they think they're winning. They've stepped into a pile of something that I won't say, and they're not going to get out of it. And we will fight for these ladies, and these women will fight until they find the truth.
Jeanette, I have to ask you, at this point, with everything that USAG has been through, with them going through, what now, 3 CEOs within a year, this bankruptcy proceeding, do you think that USAG at this point is capable of protecting athletes?
They're 100% not capable. They've tried time and time again to replace the CEO that's worthy of the organization, and they've failed miserably. They have no idea what athletes need for protection, and they've proven that to us. Once again, with this bankruptcy, it's like they say that they want to help us survivors heal and move forward, but what they don't understand is for us to heal and move forward is finding out what really happened, and they're not willing to give that to us.
Jeanette, I have to ask you, you know, there's a backdrop to all of this. I think as a lawyer you could say, well, I can understand why USAG wouldn't want to connect directly to athletes, but what happened here was so heinous. I have to ask you, has there been an effort to really communicate with the victims, to really talk, to really try to figure out how everyone can move forward together, despite the fact that the civil lawsuits and things like that are out there?
Not at all. Us as survivors have talked face-to-face with some of the former CEOs of USA Gymnastics, telling them that we wanted to help in the restructuring of USA Gymnastics. We had ideas. We wanted to help in any way we could to help protect USA Gymnastics, the athletes, and everybody involved to create a better future. But not one time did anybody reach out to any of us to ask for our advice, anything. So really that says to us that they don't want to hear what we have to say. They could care less, and all they're trying to do is cover themselves.
That's stunning to me. I understand the litigation perspective, but still, that is stunning to me to hear that. John, I have heard it said before that if USAG eventually comes to a settlement with victims, that it will be paid for with insurance. Is there still a possibility to reach some sort of settlement even while this bankruptcy proceeding is going forward?
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is there are now over 350 victims, and USA Gymnastics has managed to deplete itself over the last 2.5 years. They started out with $40 or $50 million in revenue in their accounts. They started with, tons of sponsors, and their behavior in treating these women so poorly and hiding it has killed the organization. And it's not just the survivors that are at risk, it's our athletes. Our survivors care about this sport, and the people in charge have just decimated. So there's always a possibility, but it's not going to be USA Gymnastics alone. The USOC is going to have to get involved, and frankly, in our cases, all roads seem to be leading to Colorado Springs, and I think that's one of the reasons that USAG filed, is to stop the connection between USOC, Larry Nassar, and USAG from being exposed publicly. And what we really need is the Congress and law enforcement in Indiana to step up. No one in Indiana has ever even served a search warrant on USA Gymnastics offices. No one's investigating them except the Attorney General civilly. Why not? There's been tons of indictments in Michigan, and no one in Indianapolis has even talked to them. That's stunning. And it turns out Steve Penny's best friend was the chief child abuse detective. I mean, this whole thing smells, and we need help. We need Americans and our Congress, who created this USOC and USA Gymnastics, to act to reform it, because they're incapable of doing it themselves.
I tell you, one thing that is definitely needed is for the victims to come first, and you wonder if that is happening here, as you both have said. Thank you both for joining us. We appreciate it.